Good evening and welcome to Express News. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. Let's begin with the stories. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the 28th Conference of Speakers and Presiding Officers of Commonwealth at the Parliament House complex. The fourth time India is hosting this event. Prime Minister Modi highlighted India's success in turning diversity into democratic strength, countering early doubts about its survival and development post-independence. Prime Minister Modi hailed India's democracy, declaring that the spirit of public welfare has lifted 250 million people out of poverty in the recent years. PM Modi met with the delegates at the conference venue. They discussed about fostering global parliamentary dialogue and cooperation. At the 28th Conference of Speakers and Presiding Officers of the Commonwealth in Delhi, an exhibition highlighting Bharat on the Move is on display. It talks about the rise of the nation, depicting different sectors from defense to digital economy. As India celebrates 78th Army Day on Thursday, the city of Jaipur showcased country's military might, modern warfare readiness and self-reliance. The army displayed its combat power, discipline and cutting-edge technology. The Indian Army Chief General Upendra Dwivedi highlighted the Made in India defence equipment in an effort to build agile, responsive and mission-oriented forces to meet future operational challenges. President Draupadi Murmu greeted soldiers on the occasion. She said that soldiers defend our borders and provide critical assistance during disasters and humanitarian crises. Prime Minister Modi paid a heartfelt tribute to the indomitable courage and resolute commitment of the Indian Army. He extended his salutations to the Army, affirming the nation's eternal gratitude for their valour and sacrifice. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh extended his greetings to the Armed Forces personnel on the occasion of Army Day, remembering their sacrifice and selfless service to the nation. As part of a two-day visit to Punjab and Rajasthan, President Draupadi Murmu on Thursday attended the convocation ceremony of Guru Nanak Dev University in Amritsar. President Murmu told students that future of India depends on young people who possess a scientific temper, act responsibly and serve selflessly. She urged higher education institutions to inculcate these values in students. Vice President C.P. Radhakrishnan attended the inauguration of a new building for neurology and OPD treatment at Kovai Medical Center Hospital in Coimbatore. The Vice President delivered the keynote speech and mentioned that the government is making serious efforts to meet the demand of doctors since 2014. The number of medical courses seats has been increased, especially before 2014 when there were only 36,000 seats for postgraduate medicine. Now more than 70,000 seats have been created. Home Minister Amit Shah released the Gujarati translation of complete works of Advaita Vedanta Acharya Adi Shankaracharya, published by Sastu Sahitya Mudranalaya Trust. Minister Amit Shah described the availability of Adi Shankaracharya's Granthavali in Gujarati as a significant milestone for readers in the state. Prime Minister Modi celebrated Makar Sankranti festival by feeding cows at his residence. He was seen offering fodder and gently caressing the animals in a video, embodying tradition, compassion and cultural reverence. On the occasion of Pongal, Prime Minister Modi shared a blog on X reflecting on Kashi Tamil Sangamam. He recalled his recent visit to Somnath during Somnath Swabhiman Parv, where people appreciated initiatives such as Kashi Tamil Sangamam and Saurashtra Tamil Sangamam. The 13th edition of Indian Navy Sri Lanka Navy staff talks concluded on Wednesday in Colombo. Discussions focused on strengthening established bilateral engagements, enhancing ongoing cooperation and collaborative pursuits towards maritime security in Indian Ocean region. The 22nd high-level meeting between the Indian Coast Guard and Japan Coast Guard was held in New Delhi on Wednesday, reaffirming the strong and enduring partnership between both the nations. Gold futures maturing on 5th February was priced at 143,201 rupees per 10 grams on the multi-commodity exchange. And silver futures for 5th March maturity stood at 289,000 rupees per kilogram on the MCX. India's cumulative merchandise export reached $330.29 billion during April to December 2025, up from $322.41 billion in the same period previous year, registering a growth of 2.44%. Brent crude oil futures fell about 3% to around $64.5 per barrel on Thursday. X has tightened controls on its AI chatbot Grok after global backlash over sexually explicit and non-consensual image generation. TSMC, the world's largest contract chipmaker, posted a 35% jump in fourth quarter net profit, hitting a record $16 billion. The strong growth was driven by surging demand for semiconductors used in AI, beating market forecasts. US President Trump signed an order on Wednesday imposing tariffs on imports of certain semiconductors to allow NVIDIA to sell advanced AI chips to China. Saks Global has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy just a year after its debt-heavy takeover of Saks Fifth Avenue, Bergdorf Goodman and Neiman Marcus. The company secures $1.75 billion to continue operations as it aims to restructure and emerge healthier. Asian markets were majorly down. Tokyo slipped 0.4% at the close. Shanghai and Hong Kong closed 0.3% down, and Taipei ended 0.4% lower. Britain's economy grew more than expected in November, handing a boost to the Labour government of Prime Minister Keir Starmer after recent weak figures. The US is withdrawing some personnel from bases in West Asia after senior Iranian officials said Tehran had warned neighbors that it would hit American bases if Washington, D.C. strikes Iran. Trump on Wednesday said that he has been told that killings in the Iranian government's crackdown on protest were subsiding and that he believes that there is currently no plan for large-scale executions. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said on Wednesday that there is no plan by Iran to hang people when asked about the anti-government protests. The UN Security Council will meet on Thursday to discuss the situation in Iran. The meeting was requested by America amid ongoing international concern over unrest and escalating tensions involving Iran. Iran reopened its airspace after a near 5-hour closure amid concerns about possible military action between the US and Iran that forced airlines to cancel, reroute or delay some flights. US President Donald Trump's special envoy Steve Witkoff on Wednesday announced the launch of Phase 2 of Trump's 20-point plan to end the Gaza conflict, underlining US expects Hamas to fully comply with its obligations. Witkoff warned that failure to do so will bring serious consequences. The UK government has issued an advisory against all essential travel to Israel and mentioned that there is heightened risk of regional tension. NATO will not allow Russia or China to use Arctic region for military purposes, Germany's Defense Minister Boris Pistorius said on Thursday. Another person was shot in the US city of Minneapolis by an agent from US Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency officer on Wednesday. The agent fired defensive shots when the individual allegedly attempted to attack the officer. The mayor of Minneapolis has criticized the US Immigration and Customs Enforcement, calling its conduct disgusting and intolerable after a Venezuelan national was shot during an immigration raid on Wednesday. The US State Department on Wednesday announced to suspend processing for immigrant visas for applicants from 75 countries, including Pakistan, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, Iran, Russia, Somalia, Brazil, Nigeria and Thailand, among others. Russia on Thursday expelled a British diplomat allegedly for espionage. Moscow named the British diplomat, said that he was working undercover for British spy service, but London rejected the accusations as malicious and baseless. Trump spoke with Venezuela's acting president, Delcy Rodriguez, on phone on Wednesday. Two leaders separately describing the call as positive. Trump said that they discussed a range of issues, adding that Rodriguez is a terrific person and that US is getting along very well with Venezuela. Meanwhile, Rodriguez called the call long, productive and courteous and said the two discussed a bilateral agenda for the benefit of both the countries. Trump is scheduled to meet Venezuela's opposition leader, Maria Corina Machado, at the White House on Thursday. A day after a train derailed in northeastern Thailand that killed at least 32 people and injured 66, cleanup and recovery operations began on Thursday. An investigation is underway into the incident. India on Thursday condoled the death of passengers in a train accident in Thailand. It extended sympathies to the affected families and wished a speedy recovery to those injured. The Philippines and Japan on Thursday signed an agreement allowing for resupply of fuel and ammunition to each other's forces, with both countries seeking to strengthen security cooperation in response to rising regional tensions. Polling centers in Uganda saw long queues of voters for the presidential election. President Yoweri Museveni, who is seeking to extend his rule into fifth decade, faces challenge from Bobi Wine. And we're heading for a short break. There's more coming up.
Welcome to Delhi. One of India's newest states. One of India's oldest lands.
Welcome back. You're watching Express News on DD India. Let's continue with the stories. Global temperatures remained record highs in 2025, according to US Space Agency. NASA's latest annual assessment placing the year among the warmest ever recorded. Slovenia's Lake Bled turned into winter wonderland as temperatures dipped below -10 degrees Celsius, while cold and heavy snow disrupted parts of Europe. From Paris to Poland, visitors enjoyed scenic snow-covered views. A severe storm triggered flash flooding in Australia's Victoria state, forcing the closure of the Great Ocean Road. Cars were swept away, power was cut to thousands, and emergency warning remained in place after heavy rains. Snowfall disrupted transport across Netherlands, causing road accidents, flight cancellations and train shutdowns. Amsterdam Schiphol cancelled nearly 500 flights as heavy snow is forecast to continue through the week. New Delhi is experiencing intense cold wave. India's Met Department has said Thursday morning temperatures in the city dropped to 5 degrees Celsius. As cold wave grips New Delhi, some flights were delayed at Indira Gandhi International Airport because of reduced visibility caused by fog. The Met Department issued an orange alert for the states of Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh and Rajasthan, warning of dense to very dense fog along with cold wave conditions at isolated places. In Srinagar, the interiors and fringes of Dal Lake have partially frozen, but despite freezing temperatures, tourists are enjoying the winter charm, taking shikara rides through the icy waters and capturing the unique scenery. Dense fog conditions are expected at isolated places across sub-Himalayan West Bengal, Assam, Meghalaya and Sikkim, affecting visibility during early hours. Conditions are becoming favourable for cessation of monsoon rains over Tamil Nadu, Kerala and adjoining areas of coastal Andhra Pradesh during the next few days. In India, more than 8.5 million devotees took a holy dip in Ganga at the Sangam in Prayagraj as part of Magh Mela during Makar Sankranti festivities. On the occasion of Makar Sankranti, devotees offered prayers at Hanuman Temple in Chikapalli, Hyderabad. People celebrated the festival with traditional devotion and offerings. Pongal celebrations in Tamil Nadu's Coimbatore were marked with traditional rituals, cultural festivals that honored the state's agricultural heritage. The large-scale Samtuva Pongal celebrations were held at Karumbu Karai area of Coimbatore, featuring participation of around 1,000 women. The event was organized to promote communal harmony and unity among people of all faiths. The traditional bull taming sport of Jallikattu, which is the first among the three major events associated with Pongal festivities, commenced on Thursday with about 550 bull tamers displaying their prowess amidst the roar of bulls. The Delhi government has launched 81 new primary healthcare centres across several assembly constituencies. They aim to provide accessible and transparent healthcare services. In Assam's Golaghat Tea Garden residents celebrate goddess Tusu during the conclusion of the three-day Tusu Puja, seeking her blessings. Tusu festivities grip the city of Jamshedpur in Jharkhand. The harvest festival is traditionally marked by cockfighting. Various social and cultural programs have been organized to mark the occasion. A large number of migratory birds have reached the Shalbuk wetland in Gandarbal district of Jammu and Kashmir. The Shalbuk wetland is one of the largest wetlands in the region, plays a key role in biodiversity conservation. The North Macedonia welcomed the Orthodox New Year with centuries-old carnival. Revelers in colorful masks and costumes filled the streets of the village for annual celebrations. Thousands of devotees and devoted Venezuelans gathered for annual Divine Shepherdess procession. The massive crowd walked over 6 kilometers carrying the statue of Virgin Mary, praying for peace and stability in their country. Scientists have opened the world's first glacial ice sanctuary in Antarctica, a cold, deep cave in the Concordia station to store precious ice core samples from melting glaciers globally. Bulgarian villagers marked the annual Suva festival with traditional rituals. Dressed in colorful and often frightening costumes, participants lit ritual fires and danced through villages. Hungarian firefighters rescued a dog from icy waters as extreme winter weather gripped the country. The animal had fallen through broken ice and was clinging to the edge when rescue teams reached it and using a raft and specialized gear. In Senegal's savannah, rare Fongoli chimpanzees were found in southeast of the country. These chimpanzees survive in conditions that push the limits where they can live, offering insight into how they adapt to extreme environments. Berlin hosted the world premiere of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. The Dunk in the Egg prequel, set a century before Game of Thrones, will be released on 18th of January. American television series Bridgerton's Season 4 debuted in Paris. Drawing hundreds of fans, the stars attended the world premiere. The hit period romance returns 29 January with its signature mix of love, gossip, grandeur and diversity. South Korean band Blackpink has announced their third mini-album, Deadline, set to release on 27 February. The album arrives after 3.5 years since Born Pink, as the girl group wraps up their ongoing world tour. South Indian actor Allu Arjun has announced a big-budget film with director Lokesh Kanagaraj, produced by Maitri Movie Makers. The untitled project will go on the floors later this year. And Allu Arjun's Pushpa 3, The Rampage, is set to enter pre-production with scripting and story work beginning soon in Hyderabad. The film aims for a 2028 release. South Indian actor Vijay Sethupathi has confirmed a special cameo in Jailer 2, starring alongside superstar Rajnikant. The Tamil action comedy, directed by Nelson Dilip Kumar, is set to release on 12th of June. Indian actors Prabhas and Sanjay Dutt starrer The Raja Saab collects 1.25 crore rupees on Makar Sankranti, taking its total to 17.25 crore rupees. The film follows young heir rising to power and ruling as Raja Saab. South Indian actress Sai Pallavi will make her Bollywood debut with Ek Din in a romantic film opposite Junaid Khan, produced by Amir and Mansoor Khan. Actor Ranveer Singh's Tara Dhurandhar continues its strong run, with collections now at 866.4 crore rupees in India and crossing more than 1300 crores at the worldwide box office. Indian actress Nabha Natesh stunts as Parvati in the first look of the pan-Indian film Nagabandham. The film stars Virat Khanna and Ishwarya Menon, is set for summer 2026 theatrical release. Let's turn to sports. India all-rounder Washington Sundar has been ruled out of the 5-match T20 international series against New Zealand. Sundar suffered side strain during the first ODI against New Zealand in Vadodara last week. Bangladesh Cricket Board Director M. Najmul Islam was sacked on Thursday and relieved of all responsibilities of the board, including his position as head of the Finance Committee, amid demands from cricketers. Winless UP Warriors will look to turn their fortunes as they clash with Mumbai Indians today in Navi Mumbai. Lakshya Sen kept host India's title hopes in singles alive with straight games victory over Japan's Kenta Nishimoto in the round of 16 in New Delhi on Thursday. Tottenham Hotspur has announced the signing of English midfielder Conor Gallagher from La Liga side Atletico Madrid. Inter Milan moved 6 points clear at the top of Serie A on Wednesday after beating Lecce 1-0 and taking advantage in Napoli's goalless draw with Parma. The main draw for the first Grand Slam of the year, the Australian Open, took place on Thursday in Melbourne. Defending champion Yannick Sinner will face Hugo Gaston, and top seed Ariana Sabalenka will take on wildcard Tiansua Rokota Manga. Carlos Alcaraz will play 79th ranked Australian Adam Walton. 24-time Grand Slam champion Novak Djokovic will begin his campaign against Pedro Martinez. Rabekina will clash with unseeded Slovene Kaja Juva, while women's defending champion Madison Keys will face Ukraine's Alexandra Olinkova. The stage is set for a blockbuster Africa Cup of Nations final as 2021 winner Senegal is set to take on Morocco on Sunday. Real Madrid's Copa del Rey campaign came to an end with a heartbreaking 3-2 loss to Albacete in the last round of 16 stage. Arsenal edged towards their first League Cup final since 2018 as they beat London rival Chelsea 3-2 in the opening leg of their semi-final. Olympic gold medalist Katie Ledecky clocked the second fastest women's 1500-meter freestyle time in history to launch the US Pro Swim Series event with a dominant victory. And Scott Robertson has stepped down as New Zealand's rugby coach following an internal review of the All Blacks' performance. And with that, we conclude this edition of Express News. Namaskar.